Hi everyone, welcome to Kitchen in the Kitchen with Tootsie. Today I will be fixing pot roast. And to make that ingredient, you would need a 4-pound chuck, okay, and which I have already prepared. What you do is throw it out, make sure it's nice and if you bought it and put it in the freezer, make sure it's thawed out, completely thawed out, and at room temperature. Put salt and pepper, okay, and then take some all-purpose flour and go all around, okay. That's one thing that you'll need. Then I have carrots, okay, diced celery, diced onions, and garlic, okay, and 2 cups of beef stock. You can use red wine if you would like, but for this particular ingredient, I'm going to use the beef stock. And then what you would do is you get you porcino, porcino dried mushrooms. And you will put them in warm water so you can bring them back to life. Do not throw away the juice because you're going to need this. Okay, so you get a bowl, put some warm water, and then you let them sit in there so they can come back to life. And you can find the porcino mushrooms, dried mushrooms, at your local Stop and Shop. Then you would need peeled, stewed, okay, tomatoes, thyme, and rosemary. Now, and definitely some olive oil. Now, I'm going to turn the camera around to the pot so you can be able to see what's going on, okay? So we can get started. Now get your pot nice and warm, nice and hot before you add the meat, okay? When you put the meat in, you're going to want the meat to cook on all sides. Make sure it's nice and brown on all sides. Very important. Okay? So we're going to get this nice and hot. I'm going to take my tongue here. You know what? I'd be better off just picking it up. And I'm going to sit that down in there. And I'm going to cook all 4 sides, okay? And once I cook all the sides, I'll be right back. So that way we can start on to the next thing. Okay, now that my meat has been taken out, just add a little bit more olive oil to your pot. And now you will begin to add your celery, onions, garlic, carrots, and you will stir and let these go for about 5 to 7 minutes. Okay. Don't forget to add a little bit more salt and pepper. You want to give it a nice good stirring. And let them go. Okay. Set off the side with the meat. Okay. Every few minutes you just let that, just stir them. Not to the point where they get too brown. Okay. Okay, now that I added the onions, the garlic, the celery, and the carrots have been well enough for me to be able to add my meat back in. Okay, now I'm going to take the beef stock and add, okay, and remember, okay, the mushrooms I'm going to add. Let's just get that in there. Even them out. You don't want to pour all of it in the bowl because you don't want the grit part that settles at the bottom. You don't want to use that. Okay. Now, I'm going to take a little bit more salt and pepper, put up in there, and now comes the tomatoes. And boy, oh boy, this is going to cook after an hour. Oops, I'm going to come back and turn the meat over and make sure it's cooking evenly. And then I'm just going to let this cook out for 3.5 hours. And I don't want to forget the thyme and the rosemary. Few sprigs, that's all. Throw that in there. Okay. And the last maybe half hour, I'm going to put some pearl onions in there to top it off. Okay? You save this until after it's almost done, and then you add your pearl onions. But you'll be seeing me do that later. But for right now, I'm just going to take and put the top over, and in another hour I'm going to come back and I'm going to turn it over, make sure everything's cooking out evenly, and then let it cook out for another 2.5 hours. Okay everyone, the pot roast is done. Okay, and my pearl onions have already been added, and when I added them I kept the top off. Okay, I left the top off and just let it just go ahead and just cook on through. And there you have it. Some might be saying, didn't add potatoes in theirs, but I fixed homemade mashed potatoes. Okay, now I'm holding my camera and I hope I don't make a mess. Look at how we're going to throw that on there. Look at that. Look at that right there. Okay? Look at that. Delicious. I cannot wait. Look at that. Throw a little bit more on there. Okay? I have some Italian bread with some butter on there that's toasted. And it's time to get eating. Get the eating going on. But I want to thank everybody for joining me today with my pot roast dish. And hopefully, maybe all of you at home will try this recipe as well. Everything will be listed down in the info box. Thank you very much, and I'll be talking to you real soon. Bye.